Dr. Matthew Offord.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There is a huge concern in this country about the return of Shahima Begum. This is an individual who willingly travelled to Syria to become a supporter of a terrorist organisation. She has shown no remorse for her decision, and it appears she only wishes to return to the United Kingdom for the benefits this country can offer her. Many people are very angry about this. But her case highlights the problem facing this country and the Home Secretary, that as a British national, without any form of dual nationality, Begum cannot be refused entry. But does the Home Secretary now accept that the return of Britons who travelled abroad to join Daesh to remove their citizenship is prohibited under international law? Figures from the Home Office show that 900 British nationals travelled to Syria and up to 400 have returned. On the 11th of June last year, the Minister of State for Security and Economic Crime told the House that of those who have returned from Syria, approximately 40 have been prosecuted so far. This is a reduction of the 54 advised by Lord Keane in May 2016, but it's still only 10% of those who went to Syria and returned. So can I ask the Home Secretary, how many British nationals have returned from Syria? How many have been prosecuted for offences? What offences were they charged with? And how many have been convicted? Mr. Speaker, if we don't address this issue, we not only risk the security of the United Kingdom, but we also put into doubt the safety of thousands of our Muslim constituents and put them at risk. We put them at risk of discrimination, abuse and potential violence. I make a great distinction between my hard-working and law-abiding Muslim constituents and the actions of a reckless child from East London. So I ask the Home Secretary to please take action on this vitally important matter.
Mr. Speaker, can I again thank my honourable friend for raising this important question and those questions he's just put to me. I mean, first of all, he's asked me about a particular case, the case of Shahima Begum, and I hope that he will understand I'm not at liberty to discuss any particular individual and the case of that person. But as I have just said, that we have all seen and heard some of the remarks of Shahima Begum in the media, and we can all draw our own conclusions from that. But he's gone on to ask me a number of related important questions. He's talked about about in some cases where we can remove British citizenship, what I've referred to as deprivation. And as I've said, we've done that as a government on more than 100 occasions. And where someone has more than one nationality, so they have British nationality but plus another or maybe more than one other, that if they are deemed a threat and it is deemed by me to be conducive to the public good, we are able to deprive that individual of their nationality, of their British nationality, and thereby prevent their return to the United Kingdom. My honourable friend also mentioned some numbers. I can tell him from the best numbers that we have available, we estimate that in recent years, some 900 people that have been deemed of national security concern in one way or another went to Syria or Iraq to join terrorist organisations. Of those, again, we estimate that approximately 20% have been killed in the battlefield, around 40% have returned, leaving about 40% still somewhere in the region. My honourable friend asked me about those that have returned in recent years, and in all those cases, we would seek to make sure, first, that individual is questioned, is investigated, is where there is enough evidence prosecuted. We would seek to manage that return. So even if they are British citizens, we can issue temporary exclusion orders, which will remove their passport and require them to travel on a specifically issued designated travel document into a specific port of entry, and at that point of entry they are monitored by police and have a number of other restrictions, and then also we can use, if appropriate, use TPIMs to place further restrictions whilst we may or may not be waiting for a prosecution, and of course we will also work with authorities, particularly if there are young children involved to make sure that they are getting the mental health, psychiatric help and other types of help that may be necessary. And then finally, my honourable friend rightly mentioned the communities and making sure that whatever we do it in a way that we are aware of making sure that we are working towards building more cohesive communities and winning the understanding of all communities, and that is something that we always try to do.